was gonna. What's
Yeah,
up? Happy
What's
Wednesday,
up?
top 10 quarterbacks. Let's get it.
Yep, sports back
Welcome,
bros, as you can
Bosco.
see.
Good to see you again,
Yo.
my brother.
Yo, what up? What up? What's good, y'all?
Yeah, Bosco was on the set. There are three of us. And if you saw the thumbnail, you may know what this conversation is going to lead to. It's Wednesday. This is typically a time where we take about one sport, maybe more, and we elaborate a little bit more than usual for one sport or maybe two. This time, it's NFL. The season's still here. Down the stretch they come. The Super Bowl is in a matter of what, 2 months now? Maybe even less if you really
Not
count
too
it
far
down.
away. Yeah.
But nevertheless,
Mhm.
we're going to go with the top 10 quarterbacks in our opinion of all time. So that should be all that matters, our opinion. If yours is different, well, you're wrong. What the hell?
You got that
Well,
right.
let me just try and because we don't have a format. We didn't
Mhm.
discuss it before or anything. I want to say like people I considered, players I
Mhm.
considered that didn't make the top 10. How you
Mhm.
guys feel about that? Like just a quick mention, and
All
then
right.
we go top 10.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. There were some guys that I didn't mention. There was guys that I was thinking about that probably could have made it, but when I started really thinking about it, they
Mhm.
didn't make it. And let me mention the guy I did want to put on there who just didn't make it was Warren Moon.
Mm.
And the lack
Me
of Super
too.
Bowl
Me
success
too.
was one of the reasons why. But the Super Bowl shouldn't be the holy grail. But when it comes down to this conversation, it's going to be the
Yeah.
reason why you're even in the conversation.
Yeah,
You know,
no
most
doubt.
time.
Another guy, speaking of Super Bowls, I considered Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
You know what?
But
Whew.
when I broke it down, because I have a top five, I'm like, these guys are on the list no matter what. And
Yeah.
then I looked at a bunch of other guys and I just went
Mhm.
down the list. This guy versus that guy. All right, he's gone. This guy versus
Mhm.
that guy. He's gone. That's how I
Mhm.
came to my 10. And Jim Kelly didn't make the cut. But he's
Holy
close.
crap. You just, man, you know what? It made me almost have to put more thought into this because Jim Kelly probably would have made my cut because just as infamous as it is to go to the Super Bowl and lose 4 straight times, it's still a hell of a feat.
He's the
And he
only
didn't lead
one
that
to
red gun
go 4
offense.
straight times.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you got to be a beast to
And,
do it. They just got
and if
overwhelmed.
you're gonna make an argument for him too, it's not his fault Norwood missed the kick, the field goal, and it's not his fault Thurman Thomas lost his helmet.
Yeah. It
Yeah, that
didn't
too.
even show up, actually. If you think about it, I mean, yeah. You
The
know?
only time they really had a chance to win the Super Bowl was against the Giants in Super Bowl
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
And Thurman Thomas would have gotten the MVP. He was just shredding that Giants defense.
Yeah.
And Otis Anderson was playing just steady and slow as he always did. And
Yeah.
he got the MVP because of it. But damn, Kenny Davis got the first touchdown. If you had one of those Vegas bets, you would have won that one instead of Thurman Thomas. But either way, you know what? Let me go with one guy I did not put on the list. And I was almost thinking, did I just forget or did he not deserve to be on the list? Troy Aikman, I didn't put on the list.
I
They're
thought about him
considered-
too. He's not on my list neither.
they're gonna be-
He's not on my top 10 either. Even though he got
Okay,
3
good.
chips,
I don't feel
I
as
wouldn't put
bad.
him on there.
Because
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I wouldn't put him on my list. I mean, getting there 3 times, you know, win 3 championships, that's great. But if you look at his stats are not really that great.
No, they aren't. They're
not
not pedestrian. They're like right in the middle.
Yeah,
And
because
he
you know
was
the
put
thing. I compared his stats and Eli's stats. Eli has more because you know Eli played longer. But if you look at him like comparing, like they're kind of close. And you know he got one more Super Bowl than Eli has with a far better team.
Oh yeah, across the board.
Yeah,
Offense,
I wouldn't.
everywhere.
I wouldn't put him top 10. Top 10
So-
winners, yeah, but top 10 quarterbacks, no.
One thing or a couple of things I looked at were how many times they're all pro, not Pro Bowl, all pro.
All pro, which
Yeah,
matters.
that's a big difference.
Right. How many
Yeah.
times
People
they're
don't know
all
the
pro,
difference. Yeah,
MVPs, how many times they led the league in passing and or touchdown.
right.
Yeah.
A lot of people got to understand it between all pro
And that's how I ended up
football.
eliminating some guys.
Yeah.
And I tried to be sensible with my list because I didn't want to just go back and just for the sake of throwing out names, saying someone like Joe Namath or throw somebody out there like Terry Bradshaw. I wanted to give it some balance to where there was some perspective put in to when there was a definitive change in the NFL and it really, really benefited the quarterbacks. If it really, really benefited the quarterbacks, I don't think that player really needed to get as much credit as they probably would have gotten with it, what they would get today. Because it's the rules that's pretty much giving you the opportunity and making you look the way you look instead of just your overall ability. Tom Brady happens to be in an excellent situation because he's morphed along with the changes and he became a lot of the reasons for the changes. So we saw him before the changes, we saw him in the middle of the changes, and we saw him as a result of the changes.
Like you look
But
at Dan Fouts.
That's why I
Okay,
didn't go with total numbers. Like this guy had 40,000 yards and 700 touchdowns, even though I'm making that up.
Yeah.
You know, if you led the league in passing, that's compared to your contemporaries. So whether you played in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000 or whatever. So that's why I went with league leaders, not total numbers.
It's like Dan Fouts, Hall of Famer.
Dan Fouts should be in that argument, but
you know why I don't have him in there again. If you look at his stat, like his interception to touchdown ratio, it's poor, very poor. I think he has like 2 more touchdowns and interceptions in career. But back in his day, throwing for 300 yards was like a rarity. He was doing it all the time.
He did it with a tight end.
Yeah, he did a tight end.
Hang on, I don't know. Do you guys want to mention any other guys before we get into it? Because he set me up. He put it on a tee for me.
I think that's it. Fouts is like I don't know.
Hall of Famer, obviously. Because
let me start it off then. I got Dan Fouts number 10.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
so he made your list. He made your list.
Tell you why. He's the very first quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards 3 times, 3 years straight.
Yeah.
And he took a trash ass Chargers team from being trash to contenders.
Yeah.
And a lot of people believe if they didn't have to go play in minus 50 below weather in Cincinnati, there's no way Cincinnati would have slowed down that offense.
No.
But still, they lost that game. But I'm looking for the impact that he made.
I would put him like 10 if I put him on a list.
Trash team to contenders.
I put him 10. I wouldn't argue with that.
He did something no one else did before him.
Yeah.
So.
And that's true. I can see that. He didn't make my list. So if I'm starting for number 10, my number 10, believe it or not, man, is Dan Marino. I mean, Dan Marino, I know some people might think he deserves to be a little higher on that list, but he only got his one opportunity. He might have thought he was going to go back and forth through the Super Bowl because of that one opportunity. Never went back. Put up a whole lot of stats. Never really was helped out with a running game. Always had his wide receivers. The defense was always just okay, and that was it. And it limited him. It limited his team. He still had something left even when he retired. I think the Minnesota Vikings were interested in bringing him up there right before he retired.
Tampa Bay wanted him too. Yeah, they wanted him.
Yeah. And so that shows he still had something left that people were interested in. He just decided not to leave Miami, just decided to call it a career. But yeah, Dan Marino was my guy. And one league MVP out of all those years, even without a Super Bowl, just one league MVP. Number 10 sounds pretty safe for him. 0-1 in the Super Bowl, never got back. I can live with it.
Yeah, he did walk out with a 62-7 beatdown of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jacksonville Jaguars destroyed us. You know what? I was actually at the ESPN zone in New York at Times Square watching that with Michael freaking Strahan and Joe Montgomery.
Oh, man. That might be the reason why he didn't go to Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay thought he was coming there. That might have been why he said, I'm going to call it a career. I just got my ass whooped.
I thought he still had something left. You know what I mean?
I did too.
But
so who's your number 10, Bosco?
Yeah.
Actually, I had Warren Moon.
Warren Moon.
Yeah.
You know what?
You had or you have?
No, I mean, I'm just saying that's what I have. Yeah, Warren Moon.
You know, man.
Gotta make your case.
You know what I mean?
Make my case.
Yeah.
Look at the yards, man. I mean, look at the yards, touchdown. Look at the teams he had around him. I mean, he was like, when I don't want to call it the run and shoot, but it's basically the run and shoot.
That's what it was.
I mean, he was basically run and shoot. He was a master at that, man. Pretty ball. I mean, he never got to a championship.
That ball was awesome.
But he played good enough to get there. But like I said, they relied on him to do everything all the time. Yeah. And then I said he lost 5 of his years in the CFL, where he won all them titles up there too. I mean, I know you count as.
I'll tell you what eliminated him for me. The total collapse in Buffalo. All they needed was basically one score. That offense,
but the defense also need to make a stop too, man.
They do, but I mean, if you're up 38-3, and you score a touchdown, they score a touchdown, they're never going to catch up. The offense didn't do nothing.
The opportunity where he had a chance,
was the quarterback.
But opportunity where they had a chance and they got robbed.
What?
In Pittsburgh, where he threw that pass to Renfro. and he caught it. Renfro caught the ball and slid on his back in the end zone. So he went out of the end zone. They said incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass because the
momentum. Warren Moon, he wasn't the quarterback back then.
Yeah, he was.
I believe that was. No,
that wasn't there past Perini.
Yeah, I believe it was. That was way back in the day, bro. That was not. That was not Warren Moon.
Wait a minute. Against Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. You're right. You're right. It wasn't. You're right.
Nice try, though. Nice try, bro.
I tried to slide him in there. Literally tried to slide him in there.
Look, well, yeah. You know, Renfro, yeah. He's still number 10.
Hey, it's your list. I'm not bashing him.
Yeah.
He was a great.
But you're right. You're right about that. I don't know why I kept thinking it was him. I'm still gonna look it up.
But he passed.
Hey, don't feel bad. A couple of nights ago, I said Joe Flacco was starting for the Bengals, and he's on the Browns.
So, now, my man Jake Browning from Washington is playing. The guy I wanted the Giants to draft in the second round.
Shit happens.
Who's playing?
Jake Browning from Washington.
Oh, Jake Brown, yeah.
I wanted the Giants to draft him in the second round. But we took
I wasn't expecting that kind of game from him. He put up
a game. I was.
He looked nice. He looked nice.
I saw him play in college. I know. Yeah.
And on top of that, man, the way he looked, if he can continue that now that he knows he doesn't have to look behind his back, if he continues that, man, the Bengals are almost right back in it because it opened up the running game they didn't have. And now they got the passing game and the running game, made the Jaguars look pretty damn bad here in Jacksonville when this place was hot and ready to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move to number 9.
So, number 9, I got Drew Brees.
Woo!
Won a Super Bowl MVP, 2 Offensive Players of the Year, led the league in passing 7 times. 4 times he led in touchdowns, but only 1 All-Pro. I was trying to think, like, who's beating him out for All-Pro? Led the league 7 times, 4 times touchdown. But that's my number 9.
But ironically for me, that's my number 6, believe it or not. He has that 1 Super Bowl, and you talked about no 1 All-Pro season. At the same time, no league MVPs either as the quarterback. But what had done it for me more than anything else because of all the ridiculous numbers, and it came along around the time when the NFL was really giving the offenses opportunities to put astronomical numbers up. I mean, he had over 80,000 yards passing, man. That's video games. So it's not only about those yards right there, but 68%. You can't fake 68% completion rate. Whether the NFL
I didn't know we were going to reveal hired guys. I got Marino number 5, I believe.
Well, I only mentioned him because
I got
you already mentioned him.
And you ranked him 10, but I'm saying, okay.
Yeah. All right.
I don't agree with that, but whatever.
But he had the 571 yards, 571 touchdowns, 68% completion, over 570 touchdowns. I mean, I think it even goes back to when his college days when he had Joe Tiller. No one really expected him to be the quarterback he was. That's why he went in the second round. They talked about
the Chargers didn't expect him. That's why they let him go.
That's why they let him go. Miami bought him in, but they was like, "Nah, your shoulders messed up. We're good."
Yeah, that's what they were thinking, and look how it ended up turning out for him. Yeah. But I remember watching him in college when he had Joe Tiller's ridiculous offense, was just pass. That offense made people think Kyle Orton was a good damn quarterback once upon a time. But look at those receivers he had with Vinny Sutherland and Taylor Stubblefield and John Standiford. He was lighting it up there. And we saw that it wasn't just fake. He got out there and showed with New Orleans that he was legit. But one Super Bowl, 1 MVP, and no league MVPs.
Yeah, Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah,
so who's your number 9 then?
Oh, my number 9, believe it or not, right now, Patrick Mahomes. I know it's probably you know, it's still early, but he's put up so many ridiculous numbers we haven't seen before. You know, he's already been to 3 Super Bowls this early in his career, along with Brett Favre. He's one of the youngest MVPs at 27. That was 27 and younger. I mean, 2-time league MVP already. And there's so much more to go.
He's on my list. I won't say where.
He's on my list.
I think he has to be on the list because unless something catastrophic happens, he's going to continue to do and really possibly threaten what Tom Brady has done. If he continues doing it and they continue to build around him, I think it's also contingent on what Andy Reid decides to do and how long he decides to do it.
Right. Who you got now?
Number 8.
Bosco?
Oh, I had Brees.
No, 9. Who's your 9?
Brees.
Oh, you got Brees. See?
Yeah, I got Brees. Yeah, I got Brees.
2-1. He's number 9, Trav.
Okay, number 8 then.
Number 8. I don't know.
Number
You
8.
might hate on this one, but his numbers, man, not his stats, but his numbers. I'll give them to you. Johnny Unitas.
Whoa.
3 MVPs, 5-time All-Pro, 3 championships plus 1 Super Bowl. Like,
see, I didn't want to disrespect.
He was the gold standard.
He was, and man, I didn't, man. And like when we did the show yesterday, I was like, I don't want to go back and try to give Y.A. Tittle all this credit because of an old school quarterback and looking archaic and going back to history to bring up one of these relics. But Johnny Unitas, I can see why he's on the list. But
you just can't disregard 3 MVPs.
No, you can't disregard 3 MVPs. But from where I'm looking, the standpoint I'm looking at it from is when players, I guess, even when they're in their own peer group, was so much better than what those players were back then. I hate crapping on those players, but I might as well talk about Joe Namath in that, for that matter. Winning a Super Bowl and Super Bowl III. If I was talking about quarterbacks that either changed because of what they've done, his stats aren't great either. But he was also the first quarterback to throw over 4,000 yards in a 14-game season. So, but my 8th guy is going to be Brett Favre. Brett Favre, I mean, we know about the arm, 3-time league MVP, another Green Bay guy because Green Bay seems to push him out there. He won his Super Bowl, played in 2 of them, and arguably, probably could have won that second one if they didn't just let the touchdown happen.
Yeah. Well, my number 8 is Patrick Mahomes, actually, for everything you said, Trav.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on his way. I mean, he may not get the Super Bowls Brady has, but I think he's on his way to get those numbers that Peyton and Brady put up there, the touchdowns, the yards. Yeah, I think he's going to be, when it's all over, he might be statistically the greatest quarterback ever. I don't think he'll get 6 Super Bowls. That's hard to get, but who knows?
I don't know, but let's talk the eye test. The thing, he's different.
That's about to say.
His sidearm throws, his underarm
behind the back too.
Behind the back,
the ambidextrous nonsense, man. The ambidextrous thing.
That's why I got number 8. I mean, he's gonna go up. He's gonna go up. He'll go up
if he stays healthy.
Yeah. Big if, because he does run a bit, and
I don't see why he would have a drop off anytime soon.
Nah.
Yeah.
So that was 8, right?
Yep.
Number 7, I got Steve Young.
We agree. We agree. Yo, bro, we're there with Steve
All 3 of us got it. All 3.
All right.
Really?
Yep. 7.
Wow.
Yeah, I got 7.
That was unanimous.
Yep. That's my guy right there.
Yep.
Steve Young,
so
man.
He's got 2 MVPs, a Super Bowl MVP. He was 3-time All-Pro, led the league in touchdowns 4 times.
Imagine,
and that's not even mentioning his running. He's probably without a doubt, the greatest dual threat quarterback.
Excellent running quarterback. Doesn't get any credit.
One of the toughest because he'll take a hit. I think had he went to a better team sooner instead of Tampa Bay, I think his numbers would have been a lot better because when he was at Tampa Bay, he was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in them orange sherbet uniforms. He was Tampa Bay. When he got to Frisco, he got to really show people what he can do if he got people around him to help him win. Yeah, I got him the same thing.
But incidentally, he has 3 rings, but only started for one of those rings.
Only started for one of those rings.
Behind Joe Montana. Right. But what's even more important, he had those 2 league MVPs. But in his first year starting, the guy won the MVP. So that said something, boy. Your first year starting in the NFL, you get the freaking league MVP.
And when he went to 49ers, he had a lot of weight on his back. You're following Joe
he
Montana.
Mentions that.
Yeah,
he talked a lot about that afterwards when he finally got the monkey off his back.
Yeah, I remember when he won, he said, "Get it off my back, everybody."
No, for real.
That was priceless right there. Get this monkey off my back.
There's a certain teams or certain players that if they're not on your team, you kind of root for them. If you don't have a dog in a race, you'll probably want him to win.
Yeah, my favorite run is that long run where he got to like the 10-yard line.
That little juke that he did.
Yeah, he started falling down. He finally made it in.
Suck it up, boy. That's a lot of guts. And he's a brilliant guy. Doesn't he have a law degree? God.
Yeah.
Brilliant guy.
Guy's smart. Yeah, I got number 7.
Yeah, I think we said 6, but that's actually 7.
That's 7. Yeah, we have 7. You said 7. We had 7.
Yeah.
Oh, did I? Okay. In my head, I'm thinking 6.
And 6,
That's
I told Drew
that's the
Brees,
first
you know my six.
unanimous number we agreed
that
upon.
was easy.
Yeah,
That
number
was
7, bro. Lucky number 7.
yeah,
Even
exactly.
6, Trav's not gonna like this one, but I got John Elway 6.
John Elway, huh? Okay. I already gave my Drew Brees as my number 6, and I mentioned why he should be there. So yeah, I've already gave my spiel.
Well, let's hang on, because I'm writing down who's ranking who, and
my bad. We don't have a unanimous. My bad. Flip that. I had Steve Young 6 and Elway 7. My bad.
Okay, man.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the 2 eyes. They're off, so I gotta.
Oh yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, everybody out here don't know about the.
Everybody's perfect as long as you catch your mistake. We're all good. But yeah, Elway has 2 Super Bowls, 1 MVP, 1 Super Bowl MVP. He led the league in passing 1 time, and he has 1 league MVP. But the thing that hurts him, in my opinion, is he has 0 All Pros.
Yeah, crazy, absolutely crazy. But look at the guys he had to go against. You still had Dan Marino in his era. As a quarterback. I mean, this is the AFC. You still have Warren Moon.
You still have Warren Moon out there.
Yeah, I mean, he had some guys to battle against Jim Kelly, all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, he played 30 years. You would think he'd have 1 All-Pro.
I'm a man played 30 years.
Yeah, but he also had Brett Favre in the NFC. Troy Aikman over there. He had a few people.
Exactly. It was just, we had a plethora of just talented signal callers in the entire NFL. Man, be glad if you can even win just the AFC's best player, let alone the NFL's. Man, because there was so many.
They were all tough quarterbacks too, man.
Yeah, man.
They're all tough quarterbacks.
So do we jump on number 5 now?
Yep.
Sure, number 5. That's where I have Dan Marino.
Oh wow. Okay. Because that's why I have Aaron Rodgers.
See, this is where I got. This is where it got tough for me. I had Brett Favre and Roger Staubach at number 5 tie. I couldn't decide. I know how to get rid of one of them. I couldn't decide. But if I got to decide right now, I'm gonna go Roger Staubach. 2 and 2 in Super Bowls.
Roger Staubach
went against one of the greatest
defenses.
Yeah.
So what put Marino over Elway for me? He has the MVP. He was All-Pro 3 times, and he led the league in passing 5 times, and in touchdowns 3 times.
That makes sense.
Hellified numbers, man. I think there's more details to talk about, but I could get to that when I do get to John Elway, which will be coming up very soon, I guess.
Man, all I gotta say is Terrell Davis.
Yeah,
offensive line.
Oh yeah, that zone blocking scheme, which became a big deal. But yeah,
I'm already countering your argument.
Then they had Mike Anderson also to back him up too.
Mike Anderson. Then you had Orlandis Gary. It was that zone blocking scheme. And you saw Clinton Portis did pretty much the same thing with that, man. I mean, they had that blocking scheme going on forever. Those undersized
and that defense was pretty good too.
Blocking at angles and getting out there, and the defense was good. Yeah,
there's another version of the Orange Crush for the 70s.
Yeah, then they have I remember they had Carl Mecklenburg back then, a little further back, and then Rulon Jones.
Rulon Jones, I forgot about that name. Dang.
Yeah, Rulon Jones.
Randy Gradishar, didn't they have?
Because he came over from the Raiders. Yeah.
So they had a hellified team, man. So now we
had some names on that team, man.
Yeah, some names on there.
Gradishar.
And I think it was all offense that was a bit deficient, but yeah, I'll get to that point when I get to John Elway when I decide to pull him out of the mothballs. But so now
you got to state your case for Staubach.
4 Super Bowl appearances, 2 wins, went against the probably two of the greatest defenses. It's the Steelers defenses.
More if it wasn't for the steel curtain. Right?
I mean, he would have 3 if Jackie Smith didn't drop that touchdown in the end zone
by himself, man.
Right in his hands. Yeah, he was. You freaking mail it to him.
You should have done it earlier. That's all he can use.
You should have done it earlier. And he's basically the father of the Hail Mary, even though that Hail Mary was actually offensive pass interference. If you really look back at it now, because he pushed off. But I mean, he's the father of the Hail Mary. He's basically the guy who basically say this is the shotgun, even though he didn't make it. You know, Ray Hickey invented the shotgun, but he was a guy who was known. Put him in the shotgun. Watch out. He's the master of the 2-minute offense. Don't give him the ball with 2 minutes left because he's going to take the Cowboys down the field. He don't have the greatest stats, but it's his impact on the field.
Yeah, like
I said,
when he had the ball. He spent 4 years in the Navy, so that's
that's leadership, man.
Yeah, you know, you give him the ball, you know, you can't. He was the first guy to say, "Don't give him the ball with 2 minutes on the clock."
Yeah, because
I remember watching him.
Downfield. I mean, Captain
he could take it downfield easily. He take it downfield.
Yeah, I really consider Staubach, but he just did not make my list.
Yeah, you know, thinking about it, you know what? I still wouldn't have put him on the list, but bringing this to the attention, I mean, just kind of refreshing the memory. You know, I just think that there's so many quarterbacks now, man, whether they change the rules or not, these guys' numbers are so gaudy, and the opportunities they get at a Super Bowl are right there. And I think because there's so many more eyeballs on these players now, that they're probably going to get more respect than even the players from yesteryear. And right now, they're just getting better and better. We're talking, at least for us, Patrick Mahomes is already on the freaking list, and he may have another 10 years left in his career.
And what I say about Staubach, a lot of quarterbacks, when they get to the big game, I watched all 4 of those Super Bowls, and I can honestly say he played his game. He didn't do nothing to lose the game. He had shootouts with Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
but he went blow for blow with him. You know, he actually did his job. You know,
it's just that the Steelers
team
that leads me to tell Trav why Aaron Rodgers isn't on my list.
He's not on mine.
If we're going by the eyeball test, he looks like a great quarterback, but just to have one Super Bowl, all those division titles, NFC Championship appearances, and just one Super Bowl.
Know what his record is coming from behind? I think his record coming from behind with like 4 minutes left in the game, down by a touchdown. I think it's something like 6 or 7 and 20 something like that.
I didn't know that stat.
He has a horrible record. He has a horrible record coming back from like a touchdown with like 4 minutes left or something like that.
So in a roundabout way, you're calling him a front runner.
From one or what?
Just saying, he's a front runner, man.
Yo, bro.
I mean, I would put him on the list. And you also got to look at he got a Super Bowl. But look at his playoff record. Other than that Super Bowl run, he ain't got too far in the Super Bowl.
No, but was the offense the biggest reason for that, or was the defense the biggest reason? They were always trying to find defensive parts for him. The offense has always been the one to kind of lead the way. It wasn't typically him throwing the bad pass when they did lose the game. Now, he has thrown bad passes, but I don't remember too often where it was a Aaron Rodgers bad decision that led to the loss, which was a big game. It could have been a fumble. It could have been okay. Was it offense?
I can name 3 playoff games where it was his fault.
All right. Well, I do remember. Yeah, I remember a game when it was
twice with the Giants, and a couple of years ago against Frisco. Or even 2 years ago, when they lost at home against was it Frisco? Tampa Bay.
But did he still have the same kind of team that they've always had for him since he's been there? Now, I can't really make that argument that that everything has to be perfect for him to do well.
He won MVP that year.
But 4 MVPs, man. I mean, 4 MVPs has to be saying something. I know when Bias talks about anybody from the NFC North, I kind of like, all right, take it with a grain of salt. This dude don't like any of them.
But I'm not making up stuff. I didn't make up anything.
Well, I know that. But there's extra vitriol for those guys. Any of them. Detroit, forget about it. Green Bay, forget about it. This guy's, to him, Aaron Rodgers is one of those average guys that just happened to get the Super Bowl.
Brett Favre. Now, he's a Packer, and I'm a Bears fan. But he was the quarterback on my fantasy team. So I didn't mind him so much. He would give me like 40 points every fucking week, man.
The ultimate motive.
Who's that quarterback y'all have for Chicago a few years ago?
3 years in a row. I'm like, yo, I can't hate him.
Who's the quarterback you had a few years ago? The Super Bowl year that y'all. No, not Trubisky.
No. Rex
Grossman.
Bias hate the NFC North so bad. He'll be like, Rex Grossman's better than Aaron.
No, that's not true. That's not true. That is not true, dude.
I'm calling, man.
I'm just saying that's not true.
I know, man.
Rex Grossman's the reason the Bears lost that Super Bowl with his fumbles and pick six.
Fumbles and pick sixes, yeah. He was horrible.
I did not expect to talk about Rex Grossman tonight. Come on,
this
man.
list. On
What
this
are we
list.
doing here? What are
I'm
we
talking
doing
about
here?
the guy y'all traded to Denver for
Jay
I can't
Cutler.
remember.
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got him from Denver.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Denver.
And
Okay.
he was
He was
the
good.
one.
I mean, he was diabetic.
He was the
Yeah.
one riding the bicycle on the sideline while Caleb Haney's trying to lead the Bears against the Packers to go to the Super Bowl.
Jay Cutler.
And that's Aaron Rodgers' one Super Bowl appearance. He beat Caleb Haney.
Yeah.
Well, he got his ring though, no matter how it comes.
He
Look,
did.
If you want to talk about Super Bowl wonders, we could go back to Timmy Smith going for 204 yards with the Washington Redskins.
That's highlighted his career.
Yeah.
And then the funny part is his agent comes in the offseason. It was his first start. And then his agent, like, he needs to be the highest paid running back in the NFL. My man ends up averaging like 3.4 yards for his career. Coming out of Texas Tech as a fifth rounder. And then he had drug issues and then came to camp about 20 pounds overweight. A whole bunch of nonsense.
Dude, he was here. He was here. What year? It wasn't too many years after that Super Bowl. He was here eating at a Japanese restaurant. Yeah, and we like people like, hey, ain't you Timmy Smith? He's like, and people like, nah, I didn't know that was him because he was so big.
He is big. I heard he came to camp like 20 pounds overweight when he was in his prime.
And we looked at him like,
now.
I didn't know that. And people like, I didn't know that was him. That's why he said
he had a hell of a game. If it weren't for Doug Williams and them pushing that narrative for him getting MVP, bro, he should have gotten the MVP as a running back. Yeah. But anyway, let's get back on course because we got number 4 to talk about now.
Number four. I'm trying to remember his nickname. Anyway, I got Peyton Manning at number 4.
I have Peyton Manning as well.
I have Dan Marino.
Whoa, he climbed the charts like a pop star.
I had Dan Marino.
You know what we can do? After the 10, we can assign points. Like number 10 gets 1 point, number 9 gets 2 points.
All right.
And then we'll come up with a consensus top 10 that way.
Okay.
But yeah, Peyton Manning, man, his numbers are insane. He had the 2 Super Bowls. He had one MVP. He led the league in 7 All-Pros.
Yeah.
Led the league in passing 3 times and led the league in passing 4 times. But as far as those All-Pros, I mean, he was a great quarterback, no doubt. I mean, I got him ranked number 4 all time. Yeah. But as far as his All-Pros, I kind of think he's like a media darling.
But he was putting up the numbers.
He was putting
up the numbers.
Yeah,
man.
But out of all his seasons, he only led the league in passing 3 times.
Because there were other passers.
Yeah.
No, but they called him stat boy.
All-Pro.
Had David had Rivers out there throwing the ball everywhere.
Yeah,
he had
Peyton. Quarterbacks when he was playing.
Tom Brady out there balling out.
I'm saying he still got 7 All-Pros.
Yeah, he still got 7 All-Pros. But they know him as Stat Boy. I think Stat Boy really stuck with him. That was his moniker. When you hear about people saying Stat Boy, it wasn't any other quarterback that I can remember. It wasn't even one of those run and shoot quarterbacks. It was him. But the thing about him, even with all of those numbers, man, he was the consummate stat boy because they weren't exactly that many results. He got to the Super Bowl 4 times. He lost 2 of those Super Bowls. And the Super Bowl that he got, the last Super Bowl with Denver, he was just in tow as the defense played for Denver.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, he was just there.
And then looking at his numbers and all of the Super Bowls he played in, as known as Stat Boy, 3 touchdowns and 5 picks. Bro, that's crap.
Seattle put the beat into him.
And in this first Super Bowl against the Bears, that offense was struggling until the Bears had the breakdown. Yeah. He had an easy pass. Dude was open by 20 yards. Either one of us could have made that pass. And from that point, he settled down. But if the Bears don't have that breakdown, who knows? It's probably a different game.
I don't know. For some reason, he just struggled in the Super Bowls. I mean, all the Super Bowls.
He used to choke at Tennessee. Did he ever beat Florida?
Remember that.
Exactly.
He couldn't beat Florida. T. Martin comes in the following year.
That's what T. Martin gave it the following year, yeah.
With Joey Kent and Peerless Price. And Jamal Anderson, what was it? Jamal Lewis at running back.
Jamal Lewis, yeah.
That was a hell of a team, though.
But it's crazy. He's our number 4, and we're bashing him.
We're bashing the guy number 4. He's on the Mount Rushmore.
But I guess it's because people are gonna say that's too low. That's too low. Well, I'm telling you why I have him at 4.
That's why I have him at 4.
Yeah. All right.
And we ready to talk Marino. So this one's probably gonna surprise you guys. I got Mahomes number 3.
At number 3? Wow.
Yeah, I got Mahomes number 3. I just think when it's all
jumping the gun a little.
If Peyton Manning retired after 7 years,
mm-hmm.
he probably doesn't get in the Hall of Fame. If Patrick Mahomes retires after this season, he's a lock for the Hall of Fame.
He's a lock for the Hall of Fame. But you know what? When you go into the Hall of Fame, regardless, it's the entire embodiment of your entire career. So whether your career is,
but I'm saying he's on the trajectory.
Yeah, he's on the trajectory. He's anything can happen.
He's so good. I have to rank him number 3.
I think if he retired, he would be in.
Oh, he'd go to the Hall of Fame if he retired right now.
Today.
Something catastrophic happened, he'd still go to the Hall of Fame.
He's different. He's
absolutely
different.
Everything he does. I remember his arm strength, and I was like, "Are you serious? This guy's arm strength is on another level." I remember the years they were talking about how John Elway was putting crosses on people's chests with the football because he threw it so hard. You heard how Brett Favre was breaking fingers and hands.
They threw it so hard, man.
Patrick Mahomes, man, he was throwing lasers. I mean, he could have just made another Star Wars movie with those lasers. He was throwing them, breaking it up.
My number 3 is Peyton, actually.
Peyton Manning?
Yeah, that's my number 3.
Well, my number 3 is Joe Montana. Joe Montana finally made the list. Of course.
Oh, shoot.
Wasn't hurt. 3 MVP.
You know what? My bad.
Huh?
Somebody got to come off the list.
Somebody got to come off the list because I forgot about Montana.
Bruh!
What? How you forget about Montana?
Somebody needs to come off the panel.
We gotta have to get replacement on the next one.
Bruh, come on now. 4 Super Bowls, 3 MVPs, 2 league MVPs, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, 3 league MVPs.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna push
Warren Moon's out.
You gotta go. Sorry, Moon.
You know what? I had to push him off the list because I ended up getting my whole list and having Dan Marino.
And I'm gonna push everybody down and put Joe right there, number 3.
Joe gotta be there.
Yeah. I don't know how I forgot him, man. Dang.
Joe was nasty. I mean,
Joe.
And I can't criticize him because of the weapons he had. Hey, they gave him the weapons. He did what he was supposed to have done with those weapons.
But see, he won before Rice got there.
Exactly. He won before Rice.
That's what I told Trav yesterday.
He won with Dwight Clark.
Yeah.
But the organization.
And Roger Craig and Rathman and those guys weren't on that first Super Bowl.
Right. And if you look at his numbers in the playoffs, I mean, the dude had some hellified numbers.
Hellified numbers. Did they have Joe Cribbs on that team early on?
I think he had him early on,
Yeah, so I mean,
briefly. I think he did.
I remember Wendell Tyler. I don't remember
Wendell Tyler too. Wendell Tyler, yeah. But Joe Cribbs was doing kickoff and punt return.
I didn't even look up Joe Montana's how many times All Pro, and we know he has the Super Bowls.
He's so clever.
It's the epic, clutch drives to win.
That's what it is.
Not just games, to win the Super Bowl. And you hear the story, he's out there pointing John Candy out. Who's looking in the crowd when
he's
you're 90 yards away? That's crazy, man.
Yeah. I got to point number 3.
Yeah, man. I mean, Joe Montana, man. I hate when people just try to take away from him because they talk about John Elway and John. They talk about Jerry Rice and John Taylor, and then
But you need a good quarterback to go to them guys. You need a good quarterback. You need somebody who can run that offense.
Exactly. Because let's not forget, Jerry Rice in his rookie year dropped everything thrown to him. Every damn thing. Come on now. So we saw that
playoff game against the Giants. He was off to the races and just dropped the ball.
Exactly. In the 86 when the Giants won the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
He was putting it right there in his hands. And that's when Jim Burton knocked out Joe Montana. Yeah, that was it.
Jim Burton knocked him silly. But that defense, though, that was sick. Yeah, that damn Jim Burton, bro. Canes, of course, but sick dude.
Number 2, who we got? Number 2.
We've already talked about him. Montana's my number 2.
Okay,
I got Johnny U for number 2.
I got Johnny Elway at number 2. Yeah, John Elway, man. And my reason for bringing John Elway to put him in number 2, he has those 2 Super Bowls, and by his mention, it was Terrell Davis. But they did nothing to get that guy any help. He had the 3 amigos. We knew about that passing game. You knew about Vance Johnson, Mark Jackson, and Ricky Nattil.
You hear my reaction to Elway number 2?
Huh?
You hear my reaction to Elway number 2?
Did you see my eyes? You can see them.
I thought you were doing something else, having a conniption over there.
Nah, man, I had to sneeze. My body.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm surprised at that one.
He went there 5 times. He's 2-3 in the Super Bowl. He got those 2 Super Bowls with Terrell Davis, but he did have something when they talked about his desire, how he got spun around like a helicopter. But you look at, he still got there with the team that he had when he probably shouldn't have been there. Never really had a great running back. Bobby Humphries for that one season was a good running back coming out of Alabama from that Sugar Bowl that they lost to the Hurricanes, and Derek Thomas came out of there as well. And he got the Rookie of the Year that year. But that was it. You know what I mean? But he kept on going, kept on getting to the Super Bowl. The wide receivers never really showed up when they needed to. Ricky Nattil, out of those 3 amigos, you heard more about him on Tecmo Bowl than you heard in the damn game.
You got that right.
You know what I mean? Come on now. So,
shouts out to Bo Jackson.
Right?
You can't stop him on Tecmo Bowl.
You can't stop Bo. And I tell you what, I remember the only player that could throw Lawrence Taylor in Tecmo Bowl was freaking Herschel Walker.
That's it.
The only guy who could do it. I was like, how did that happen? Kevin Mack was bouncing people, but Lawrence Taylor knocked him down. But then Lawrence Taylor's getting thrown by freaking Herschel Walker. But he had 1 MVP though, 1987. So I think he covers all the bases. He got himself, 2 Super Bowls. It's a team sport after all.
Okay.
I don't agree. I got him a little bit lower, but whatever.
Yeah, me too. But I guess we all agree on number 1 then.
I've always had him.
While you guys talk about TB12, I'll add up these numbers and see what we come up with.
And you know what? TB12, he got it because he deserved it.
I mean, the way you look at it, he was Peyton Manning with less interceptions and
fewer weapons.
Fewer weapons. No matter who you put on the edges, they got the ball. He made Julian Edelman a star. He made Danny Woodhead a star. What's the other?
Deion Branch an MVP.
Deion Branch MVP.
Bro, come on now.
He got Corey Dillon a freaking Rick. It was one more little receiver he had.
Corey Dillon just kept his mouth closed because Bill Belichick wasn't putting up with it. One time he wasn't a malcontent, he played his ass off over 1,500 yards that season. So Corey Dillon was legit that year on his own. And then the time that Tom Brady had the best wide receiver he's ever had, he didn't win a damn thing.
He didn't win a damn
Randy Moss.
Julian Edelman was a quarterback coming out of Kent State.
Yeah, coming out of Kent State.
He made him one of the best weapons. 100 catches every year. Danny Woodhead. It was one more he had.
Wes Welker.
Wes Welker.
Wes Welker. Yeah.
I think Welker was a quarterback too. I don't know. But
no, Wes Welker was a wide receiver. I think he was at Texas Tech.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well,
3 little guys, he made names for them. No matter who they put in there, he made. Remember, Gronk had his brother on the team too, but I think he lasted like a year. But look at Gronk. No matter who, and then he goes down to Tampa Bay, makes a win out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So the chicken and the egg argument is over because we always wondered how great was Bill Belichick really. Now we're realizing that he may not be as great. I don't think you can take everything away from him. But when you took Tom Brady from him, he didn't win anymore. The same way he didn't win when Drew Brees was there. The same reason he didn't win and got kicked out of Cleveland. Right. There has to be something said about that. Tom Brady leaves him, still freaking wins. Yeah. That's the common denominator.
Looks like he didn't even lose a step.
Didn't miss a step.
Got him to the playoffs.
He didn't miss a step.
Yeah, got him to the Super Bowl, championship game. I mean,
nothing else to be said. And I like Bill Belichick. I've always liked him. Anyone from the Parcells tree, I love. That's pretty much it. And he's one of those guys, right-hand man of Parcells. And I know people say he's greater than Parcells. Man, even with all the rings, I'm kind of going against common sense. I still have Parcells as the best coach ever. But that's that New York bias. We've grown up watching Bill. Bill's just he's the man, God dog, he's the man.
Bill could have built that Cowboys team if Johnny left them alone. I mean, if Jerry left them alone. But
Bill ain't one of those dudes you could play with. You know what though? Bill Parcells cannot coach in the NFL today. The way he coached, these guys he'd be out of the league. They'll cancel him.
Yeah, these plays right today. Yeah.
On TV, he would tell you, my team's too stupid, they can't win. That's enough.
Yeah, he'll tell you. He'll do that Jim Mora playoffs.
You know what? I saw Jim Moore at the Super Bowl when it was here in Jacksonville, and I had to shout him out about it, bro. All he could do was laugh. Come on, man. Everybody's laughing. Why as well laugh?
Dude, that's one of the funniest takes, man.
Playoffs. You kidding me?
So we can win a game.
We're just trying to win a game. Playoffs.
That practice. I still when I can't find anything on YouTube, I look up playoffs, man, and just laugh
I say that one. I say practice. I like the one Mike Gundy. Listen to me, I'm a man.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
And of course, Denny Green.
Crown ass.
They are who we thought they were. The Bears are who we thought they were.
We let them up the hook. And then Mike Singletary can't play with him.
Can't play with him. Can't.
Yep.
Yeah, oh man,
can't do it.
But you know what? The thing about it, that made Vernon Davis a better player.
And it did. It did. That guy has so much talent coming out of Maryland. I mean, I thought he was going to be a generational player. Those measurables, the 4'4", the physique, the power, all of that. Benching over 400 pounds, and you saw him like a man among boys when he was playing. And then he gets to the NFL, still a solid career, but not what I thought it would be.
Yeah. I love those takes, man. Those are like the funniest.
Man, those are legendary rants.
Jim Mora, boy. When I first seen that happen, where was I? I might have been overseas. No, I was here, and I might have been in Virginia. And I seen that dude. I fell out. I was like, what?
When you saw Jim Mora, when he said that,
dude, I fell out.
And the look on his face though was priceless. Playoffs. He should be a freaking meme. He probably has been a meme. We just haven't seen.
I might have to make one.
Playoffs. We're just trying to win a game. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Jim Mora, boy.
Freaking Mora, man.
If you don't remember anything else by him, remember that rant.
We need more of him. We need more of Jim Mora and even these old school guys we're talking about. Rest in peace to Denny Green. Man, we need guys like that.
I love his take because with Denny Green, he was talking, it was all calm.
Yeah, then he
just flipped.
Yeah, the stupid questions come out of the freaking gallery.
Yeah, the Bears who they thought they were. One cry there, but the Bears who we thought they were. I was like, damn, Denny.
For real. We let him off the hook. Man,
that was hilarious.
Right now, our top three is Brady, 30 points, Montana 25, Manning 21.
All right.
I put them in the top five anyway. Yeah, I put them in the top five anyway.
How about a number 4 for Mount Rushmore?
I'm looking. I'm adding.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, Elway edges out Marino 14 points to 13.
I can dig it. That's right.
I mean, I wouldn't.
That's because you ranked Marino number 9.
Yeah. No, I think what happened, Marino? I think Marino was number 10 for me.
Oh, was he?
You're right.
I know
10,
he was pretty low.
10. That's right.
Yeah,
10.
I had Patrick Mahomes in front of him.
Yeah, you're right. 10.
You know, I saw Dan Marino back in 1992 at the Honda Classic in Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we did some little work down there. We was working the golf course, and he had his little golf tournament going on. Not his golf tournament, but the Honda Classic. He happened to be there. And that was it.
So for 6, we have a 3-way tie for 6 at 12 points. Steve Young, Johnny Unitas, and Patrick Mahomes.
Okay,
I can live with that.
Yeah.
And a few years from now, if Patrick continues to do what he's doing, and if they can bring receivers that's willing to catch the ball, he'd be higher.
Yes. I like it. Like the meme going around about why they didn't call that interference call. I said, well, the refs knew he wasn't going to catch the ball.
He wasn't going to catch it anyway. They said uncatchable.
So why throw a flag? You know.
So, number 9, we have Drew. Wait. No, Aaron Rodgers. Even though he only made one list. No, not take it back. Drew Brees, number 8.
Okay.
With 8 points. And then for the final spot, we have Aaron Rodgers edging out Roger Staubach, 6-5.
Yeah.
All right. So my guy's getting in there. Aaron Rodgers getting in there. Not for anything he's done with the Jets. Not for anything he's done with the Jets, but come on now. This guy.
Hit the button.
God, man.
Hey, yo, fellas, I got to move to this other podcast.
All right, bro.
All right, good luck, man. Thanks for joining us, Boscoe.
Hey, you know me. Anytime, I'm down. You know, yeah, I love this podcast. I know my other friends go, man, why you love that? What about our podcast? I love y'all, but I love these my dudes right here.
All right,
thanks for joining us, man. Take it easy,
man. Catch you later. All right, yo. Yeah, man. So that's what we come down to. The conclusion is your top 4, our Mount Rushmore of football quarterbacks in the NFL of all time, I guess, if you want to put it that. I think this is legit. I think this kind of, I don't think we need to add just obscure names that are popular from way back just to validate this. I think the names that we have on there are legitimate names, and I think it can be respected. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we probably could have considered a couple other guys, but
Jim Kelly's one of them.
Yeah, in the end, would they have made the top 10 based off all our lists? Like I just added up the points. I don't know. Like Jim Kelly may have made one list, but look at Boscoe. He forgot Montana,
bro. That blows my mind. You forgot.
He had Warren Moon. If I forgot Montana, I might have had Warren Moon. I might have had Warren Moon too.
You know what I mean? But, you know what? I think I forgot who I put on there that I forgot that got Moon off because I had him at number 10. And I think I forgot someone. I just can't remember who it was. Like, oh no, there's just no way. I got to take Warren Moon off. And it bothered me. I had to do it, but I justified it by no championships and all this and that. Yeah, I'm not going to say it was wasted time in Canada. That's 5 championships with Edmonton, but it's not the NFL. I mean, it really primed him for that, and we understand the circumstances under which he had gone to Canada instead of the NFL first. It was a different time, especially for black quarterbacks. Albert Chester Sr. dealt with the same thing for FAMU, the last black college football team to win the national championship on the 1AA level. So I understand, and I know him personally.
Let's stay on track before we lose our listeners. We got to tell them, give us our comment, give us feedback, post your comments. Tell Trav his list was trash.
No way. My man
John Elway is not number 2. Come on, man.
John Elway's not number 2. That's always been my number 1 guy until Tom Brady kept on winning.
And you ranked him begrudgingly number 1. I know it.
You know what? The numbers just spoke for themselves. I'd have been foolish just to say, still put Elway in front of him, even with all these numbers, man. Kind of like last week when I was like, put Oregon in front of Washington. I know they already lost to him.
And I promise, I didn't not rank Favre and Rodgers because I'm a Bears fan. I promise.
Now you ranked them and then trashed them. It was a great opportunity.
I didn't rank them. You ranked them, and I had to tell you why I didn't.
I did rank them. I think they deserved it. And even though there's only one,
they're probably 11 and 12 or 11 and 13 maybe.
And 2 rings between them. I guess that's helpful. It's not Tom Brady-esque, but his numbers spoke for themselves. You went to the Super Bowl 10 times. You only lost 3. You lost twice to the same team with the Giants. Bro, come on now. So he deserved it. But then even Dan Marino, without his Super Bowl ring, we already know what his story is. He just put up so many numbers, and they never did anything to help him with that running game.
Plus, he was the only quarterback to beat the 85 Bears.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that night, too. I was rooting against him because, of course, being a Jets fan in the 80s, you're rooting against Miami. And then we won. I was like, are you kidding?
Balls bouncing off of helmets going down for a touchdown.
Yep.
It was just their night, whatever.
It's just that kind of night. But, hey, we've had our kind of night concluding this top 10 quarterbacks in NFL history, according to us. Once again, Brian said, leave messages or comments in the comment section if you agree or disagree or have your own list. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Until then, we have tomorrow, which is our weekend, Thursday. And we're sure to have a whole lot coming up because this show, we didn't get a chance to talk about other things that have been happening in sports today. And there's been quite so many things that have been going on that we can get to on Thursday. So Bias, Trav, Sports Bag Bros are signing off.